Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is my usual weekly technical analysis outlook videos in which I will comment on what I think will happen to some FX crosses and equities. As always, before I begin, I want to clarify that this is not a solicitation or recommendation to enter into long or short positions in the names that I will mention in this video, nor do I have existing positions in them. This is not financial advice, and if you're using this content as a guide to trade, you are doing so at your own risk. Alright, let's start. These are the names that I have covered in past videos, and I will do a quick review on each of them. In the later section of this video, I will also begin covering these new names. I've put in timestamps, so please use them to skip to the names that interest you. In the video on the 2nd March, I said that Bitcoin is bearish, but the next move is likely going to be up due to various reasons. So go watch that video if you are interested to know why. Bitcoin has rebounded as expected above the neckline before sliding thereafter. I believe Bitcoin is in the bearish resumption phase. Note that ever since over here closing below the 20-day simple moving average on the 1st of February, Bitcoin has either struggled to hold above the 20-day simple moving average or got rejected. The latest failure over here is another bearish sign. So stay bearish on Bitcoin. The textbook target of this double top is at 70,526.3. On 17th of March, I highlighted that Hang Seng Index has bearish potential due to two reasons. Number one, the formation of a rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern, as well as price momentum divergence on the RSI. This week, Hang Seng Index has completed the rising wedge via a breakdown below the support trend line. Hang Seng Index is now bearish in my view, and the textbook target is at 19,968.61. Note that the close over here below the 20-day simple moving average is also a bearish sign. I noted on 2nd of March that Salesforce could enter into a correction phase, seeing how over here price action appears to have bounced off the support of 293.61 twice. The correction did not happen because in a subsequent session on the 3rd of March, Salesforce managed to close below the support of 293.61, therefore affirming further downside. Salesforce reached a low over here of 269.75 on the 13th of March. That is about 82% of the textbook target at 260.31. I am ready to seize coverage on Salesforce, but will wait for a few more weeks just to see how price action develops. I last covered dollar yen on the 9th of February and said that the rising wedge has a textbook target at 144.96. Dollar yen over here fell to a low of 146.53 on the 11th of March, reaching about 84% of its textbook target before rebounding. I believe this rising wedge is resolved, but switching to a weekly chart, I want to show you that dollar yen is still forming a bearish pattern on the weekly chart that I've identified to be a head and shoulders top. It looks something like this. So the latest price action this week suggests that it is facing some difficulty in breaking back into the cloud. In the next session, which is next week, if it gets rejected back below the cloud, then that is also bearish territory. Downside still prevails for dollar yen, but in this case, this head and shoulders top, it requires a weekly close below 140.25 to complete, and the textbook target resulting from that is much lower, but then we will see what happens next week. Now moving on to new coverage, I'm starting my new coverage with an asset that has been very well watched for the past several months as it continues to make new all-time highs. I'm talking about gold. Gold has had a good run up, but recent price action suggests that it has bearish potential. First, it is looking a lot like the HSI, Hang Seng Index, in that it is forming a rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern, and then we have the RSI in price momentum divergence. That is, price comparatively is higher here and here, but the RSI is comparatively lower here and here, and this usually suggests a near-term decline. I'm not saying that gold is bearish right now. In fact, I'm bullish on gold at this juncture, but there is bearish potential. Recent price action was, I believe, just rejected by the resistance trend line, and price action could trend lower. Now, I've talked about rising wedge before. Textbook suggests that rising wedges do not get completed so early. It is usually completed 70 to 80% towards the apex of the rising wedge. So I'm not surprised to see gold falling lower to the support trend line before bouncing higher and continue to trend within this wedge before an ultimate breakdown. Of course, if gold were to break down early, and that happens as well, not common, but it happens. If it breaks down below the support trend line, then I will turn bearish on gold. This rising wedge has suggests a textbook move of about $162.88. We'll see what happens on gold. The next new coverage is on Astrazeneca, a famous pharma company in the UK. I suspect that it is forming a head and shoulders top bearish pattern with a neckline at 11,468. Completion of this bearish pattern will be via a daily close below the neckline, and the textbook target is at 10,728. Now, I'm moving on to names that I will no longer cover in future videos. Starting off with Marubeni, I will cease coverage on this name. The head and shoulders top that I identified on the 15th of December last year did not complete, and this week's rally over here has invalidated this bearish pattern. The second name that I will no longer be covering in future videos is on Dollar Tree. I covered this name on the 10th of February, saying that it may be forming a head and shoulders bottom, a bullish pattern. Well, this bullish pattern was not completed and was invalidated over here on the 4th of March after Dollar Tree fell below the cloud and fell sharply thereafter. That's the end of my sharing. I will give updates to these crosses and names only when there are meaningful development, and in the next video, it will highly likely be on new crosses and new names. If you like what I'm doing, please help me out by giving me a like. Please subscribe and hit the notification button for more videos like this.